Go live. Okay, I think we are live. I'm trying to do this on Instagram, guys, but I am not the most tech savvy. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Technology's hard. Technology's hard. I didn't have a TikTok until 8 weeks ago.
Yeah, like I'm slowly getting into TikTok, but even that, it's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. Blue Sky now, Threads. I don't know what's cool or new. I don't know. I'm too old for this
And like
shit.
that's what I'm saying. It's like when Ashley called me 35, I think she was kind of right, honestly, because that's how I feel sometimes. That's why my best
No
friend in the
hate.
house was a 40-year-old. Like, come on.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you everyone who's coming in and joining. I threw this comment out as a kind of a joke to the Mickey of it all. Like, if I hit 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, got to bring Jimmy live. And I just really appreciate Jimmy doing this and being a good sport and hopping on with me. So, yeah, thanks, Jimmy.
Of course, I'm always happy to be here. As the fans know, I go live way too often. So what's one more? And congratulations, Sharon, on 15K on YouTube. That is awesome, and you should feel really excited about that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, I have not kept up with every live. There's been a zillion of them. And
Yeah.
obviously you guys now after the finale, like, what is the general consensus? Is there a group that's always like hanging out, or is it just like a mix of people, or how does this work?
Yeah, I can speak for myself. Like, I
Yeah.
just go live when I have something to share, something to talk about, or like if I feel like I haven't talked to my TikTok people in a while, I'll just pop on live. Like this morning while getting ready and just chat about things, or read the comments and catch up. During the season, a group of us would go live Thursdays after the episode to kind of debrief. By a group of us, I mean the pre-jury.
Yeah.
And that was a nice way to connect with some of them outside of the house and to talk about, because we were all going live anyway, so might as well just bring it together. And I mean, they were pretty successful, so they were fun. I just do it at this point because it's fun. Like, I don't really have any incentive to do it. I don't really get anything out of it, but I just enjoy interacting with people in a very direct way. And some people don't like it, and that's okay. They don't have to join.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone about this. That's the thing though, like the game and the show has evolved to the point where like you guys don't necessarily need to do a zillion interviews because you can talk to the fans directly yourself. Same thing with
Yeah.
celebrities, even as social media has grown. And so like, and I'm sure the network is also trying to navigate like, well, the show's over. We can't sort of like police everything they're doing. And so, yeah, I feel like don't be a hater. Like if people are going live, I mean, they're going live. Who cares?
Yeah, you know what? The thing about me is I love a hater, especially when they're in my live and in my comments. Like, I will click on their profile and let them know exactly what I think. And you know what? Most of the time, they come back in the comments and they're like, you know what? I'm so sorry. Like, I love you so much. Da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, so we all just want a little bit of attention
Attention.
at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
We're all narcissists, I guess. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's what we can chalk
Uh,
it up to. Nothing.
so
I always
how
like to say nothing's that serious, and neither am I. You know what I mean?
it is, especially with this show. Like I will say, I do give people like a little bit of sympathy because this show is actually I feel like way more traumatic and intense than some other shows that because you're locked away. So
Yeah.
I give people a little leeway there, but yeah, I wanted to know how you're doing. Are you back home, like settling into real life again? Or are you still like on the high of everything?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was evicted, I don't know, 8 weeks ago from yesterday. So thankfully, I've had a lot of time to settle back in, but it takes a
Yep.
while. Like, I think the alumni were all very helpful in reaching out and kind of offering support and advice for what that would look like. I also talked to Rachel a lot in the house about what the show looked like when we were done with it, so that I could start mentally
Mm.
preparing for what that would look like. For good or for worse, I'm always overly proactive. So even in the house, yes, I was thinking about my game. I was thinking about week to week, month to month. I was also thinking about what do I do after? Like, what comes next, right? And so I was always being proactive in how to handle just like the transition back to normal life. And I think Rachel was very helpful. A lot of the alumni have been very helpful. But I'm like, I felt normal, I think, the first week before finale, and then you go back to finale and you kind of get sucked back into it a little bit, and then you need to readjust again. So I think I'm getting back to normal life. I've kind of reintegrated in my social circles, and it feels good being outside of the house. But I mean, it's tough because you go, even for somebody like me who was in there for 31 days, like you are in 45 days, you add sequester to it, you are always on, you're always gaming, you're always thinking, and that alters your brain chemistry temporarily. And you have such a reduction in noise and outside variables of the outside world. So when you go out to that, especially with such a magnetized platform that then you had going into the show, it takes some adjustment. I would say I'm pretty good. That was a really long-winded answer to your question, but I'm doing very,
No.
very well and readjusting very nicely.
No, yeah, it seems that way because you obviously had more time, but I was out in LA. I got to meet you, and
Yeah.
those events can be overwhelming. Like, I don't know, how did you feel? Did you have fun? Was it good to connect with fans? And you got to hang out with some alums, I think too, right?
Yeah, yeah. So connecting with the fans is always my favorite part. I think that's the coolest thing about this experience is the connection with people. I've always been very big on that and a relationship builder. So the fact that the fact that people care to just like have a conversation or say hi or take a picture is the greatest thing in the world, and I'm never gonna turn that down. That situation, that exact party that we connected at was very, very overwhelming because I think it
Yeah,
took me an hour to cross from that back bar to go to the bathroom.
it was
And
crazy.
yeah, and like that's fine. Like I'm not complaining one bit, but I was I think I was also most excited to actually see the cast because I think people clocked me for this on stage. In between like shots, I was kind of running to everybody and catching up with everybody because like I had a feeling we weren't going to be able to do that a whole lot after the fact, like before
Yep.
outside things came into it. So one of the things I made my best effort to do when I was talking to the cast is telling them like catching them up on bits and pieces. First off, I told Rachel everything. That's a given. But like, I mean, Vince, for instance, like I wasn't running out of my way to find Vince, but when he came up to me, I like said hi. I told him I had his like green shirts, whatever. I gave him to production, and I told him I had been impersonating him on Cameo because I thought it was really funny. Everybody in that house, we do know each other. We spent 31 days together. He was not even a little bit surprised I was doing something like that. And his first question was, he was like, "Oh, are you crying on Cameo?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I think he got it. I mean, like, I don't really have a strong desire to like connect with Vince outside of the house, but I wanted to at least like make him aware, like, "Hey, I am doing this thing," or like, I did take Morgan aside and say, "Hey, Morgan, like, you played a great game." Obviously, I used my like one moment on stage to compliment Morgan. And I did take her aside and I was like, "Listen, I was working through my eviction. I definitely said a lot of things about you as I was commenting on the show. I said there are some things I stand behind, some things I regret. I just want you to know that like I am sorry for some of the things that are kind of come off the wrong way. I was working through my eviction." At the time on stage, she was like, "Oh, I get it. Like, thank you for like coming to me and like telling me these things." And she goes, "I'd probably do the same thing," and that sort of a thing. So I just wanted people to know, like, I'm a talker. I've been talking. Do I stand by everything I've said? No. Are there some things I stand behind? Absolutely. But I didn't want anybody to like, especially as it relates to me, just come out and be super shocked. So I did kind of take that as an opportunity to talk to everybody. And I'm glad I did because I didn't see Vince the rest of the night. I didn't see Morgan the rest of the night. Right?
Right.
I didn't see a lot of these people the rest of the night. So I wanted to make sure that we at least had a brief conversation, or Ashley, or I could just like tell them how proud I was of her. And Ashley is and remains to be one of my favorite people on the show. I told you I was just talking to her right before I hopped on here, and
Yeah.
I wanted her to know how proud of her I was. I wanted to explain to her some of the fun things going on online. Her twin twist, Ashley versus
I
Ashleigh.
forgot about that. It was so
She thought that
good.
was so funny, and like so she's also from DC, and she was the picture they were using for Ashleigh was her picture from Miss Southwest Waterfront in Washington DC, and I happen
So
to know
good.
that because I live near there. So it's like Ashley, they were using your pageant photo and all this other stuff. So she was really, really excited to hear about some of those things before she got to see it. But I wanted to like have these opportunities to talk to the cast before we kind of left that space, and I wasn't able to see them in person right away.
Yeah, it's so true though. Like your opinions can change and the fans' opinions change throughout the season based on who their favorites are and what's happening in the game. And so I'm always like, listen, things are subject to change with Big Brother at all times because it's airing live in real time. And
Yeah.
so let's give people the grace to change their minds on things. But yeah, you mentioned Vince. Has
Yeah.
anyone heard from him? Is he okay? Do we
Uh,
know?
you know, who knows his pap shots? I mean, pap shots if you can call the son pap, but pap shots look great. So I think he's doing. Listen, I think the way I've explained this to a lot of people on my lives is like we all unpack the show in different ways,
Yeah.
and like Ava, for instance, is not somebody I would expect to be on camera talking through it on TikTok or making social media content because that's just not who Ava is. Ava gets very overwhelmed super easily, is a very private person and likes to connect with her close people, but isn't necessarily an outward sharer in that way. And I think we saw that on the show. And there's no hate. Like I obviously love Ava, but like I'm not surprised we're not seeing her hop on TikTok live, right?
Yep.
Zach is somebody I'm not surprised goes live every week, right? Like that's somebody just like me, likes talking to people, prefers to, I don't want to say control the narrative, but like if I have something to say, I'm just going to say it. Sometimes I really shouldn't do that, but whatever. And so I'm not surprised like Zach is going on live. So Vince is one of those people who I'm not surprised is kind of internalizing what happened on the show, especially considering one of the bigger storylines this season was Vorgan. And like probably unpacking what that means for him and his personal life, and the factors that went into that before the show. And then I think everybody's also analyzing what post show means for them. Like, what do they want to do, and how can they start using their platform that they've acquired to achieve that goal, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just hope people are okay, because like, listen, this is a show. It's not that, hopefully it's not that deep, but everyone, like you said, it takes a while for people to handle things differently. But yeah, I'm trying to think who, any of the alums that you got to run in that were in LA or just out and about.
Yeah. Oh my God. Of course. The alums are some of the best parts. So I know Taylor Hale has been a huge supporter of mine and absolutely love seeing her every chance I get. I mean, in fact, so Taylor and Leah Peters from last season too have been, Derek Frazier, very, very important people that I've been talking to very often. I mean, I was trying to do a 24-hour TikTok live that didn't work out very well, but
damn, that's hard.
I made it like 11 or 10 hours or something like that. So we
pressure
did something
cooker.
By, literally a pressure cooker. And speaking of the pressure cooker winner, Leah and Taylor and Derek joined for like 5 hours or so of the live.
Oh, wow.
So, I've seen a lot of the DC alum, Mimi Hayes and Azza and Hannah Chada have all been like super, Amira have all been super loving and kind and very supportive. And Blue in LA, one of my favorites.
She's hilarious.
Shout out Family Style. So much fun to see and connect with her. So there's been a lot of alums that I've been really excited to talk to, connect with. I mean, hell, going from Oz's party to the after party, I think it was Taylor, Chelsea, and Derek got my boyfriend over to the party in their Uber or something. Like,
that's nice.
Just it really is like, it's kind of like when Rachel talked about on your show last episode. There really is a BB family, and for the most part, a lot of people just like step up and find ways to support where they can. And obviously, because my boyfriend couldn't be like on set, but he was in LA, so I wanted, like, he went and hung out with Leah, and then Leah and he went to Oz's party, and then from there, like, they made sure he got to the viewing party or the after party. And I'm super grateful for those sorts of things as well, because I think it shows the type of humans that are behind the mask sometimes. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. That makes complete sense. Speaking of, wait, who did you just mention? No, I just blanked. Also, the chat's going wild and it's distracting me, guys. I'm not used to this. Are there like multiple group chats for your cast? Like, is there like a pre-jury group chat, and then like, how's that work?
Yeah, I know that the fans have been asking about this all the time, whether or not we have a BB27 group chat. Listen, if there's a BB27 group chat, I'm not in it. So so I don't think there is one. I know there's a pre-jury group chat because obviously, like, we were talking a lot pre-show. We also coordinated a lot to do in LA together. There's a few other like side group chats.
Yeah.
Like, like I think Amy, Ashley, Rachel and I are in one called the Girls or something like that, because we've been talking, and a few other group chats with some of the other. I think there's a lot of small side group chats, but there's no main group chat. And we all, for the most part, I think are talking individually too, because I mean, finale was a week ago. So I think also outside the house, I think is really important and kind of an underrated factor is like reconnecting with your castmates outside the show and debriefing, like one-on-one, like what the experience was like, what was real and what was fake, and should we have a relationship? Is there a need to have a relationship going forward, sort of a thing? So I'm still embarking on those conversations, because there are some people I still need time with, but it's important to me to check on the cast as people, because a lot of them just got thrown out. Most of them just got thrown out into this.
Yeah.
And I think the pre-jury has been out for 9 weeks at this point for some. So I think it's important, kind of like Rachel said, to just check in on everybody, see if there's anything you can do. And you know what, if we need to have a conversation and you're not ready yet, take your time. Like, I'm not going anywhere. So I think that's important to share with everybody, and just know that we are a family, and we're the only ones who've been through Big Brother 27 together. And so I think it's important we support each other as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I asked that because, Paul threw out the idea of like, we need an after show. We need like a reunion or something. Yeah, and I do like the idea, but I'm just like, I don't know if this cast would do it.
Well, I would. Most of this cast would not. I can tell you that probably is the case. What I think is, listen, the little thing we get on stage is great for like the main viewers, the casuals. That is perfect. That is all they need. I think we need a live feeds reunion, an in-depth, like 3 to 5 hours worth of filming of a reunion. Everybody, like Very Housewives, everybody get in a cute outfit. We're going to line everybody up, I don't listen. I love Julie. I don't think she's the right person to host that sort of a thing.
Yep.
I think you need a good host who's willing to ask great questions and dive into it. And I think it just needs to be in depth. And I think you give it to the live feeders or just throw it out there, make it a special, you know, the Big Brother reunion special or something like that. I do think there's a lot of things because we can't talk about things on stage if they didn't make the episode. Right. And there's a lot of things that happen that I think this cast needs to debrief on. I think every cast needs to debrief on that happens in the house, but doesn't get to make the episode. So I think an all comprehensive debrief would be a really interesting way to get all of the information out there. And hash it out in a way that we can move forward as people or choose not to, depending on the situation.
It's just like, to me, it's a missed opportunity. Like they have Paramount Plus, which I don't like that app. I'm sorry guys, but it's always glitching for me. But you know, Peacock does it with the Traders and Andy Cohen hosts it. And I think you need that sort of wrap up too, of these stories that, maybe the casuals didn't follow along, but the live feeders did. And those people are paying for Paramount Plus. So I don't know. I'd love to see it. It seems like you and Mickey had a good convo, or at least an initial convo. But are you guys, I guess, still wanting to have more conversations?
Listen, I think sometimes I feel like I'm beating that situation with a dead horse because I feel like I don't feel like we got to flesh it out on stage as much as I wish we had because it became sort of about Morgan. But I do think at that point in time, Morgan's a more relevant character to the end of the show than Mickey and I are. So keeping the attention where it should be. I feel good with Mickey. Mickey and I think relatively have hashed things out at this point, especially being together so much in LA. The difficult part with I guess there's no difficult part. We hashed things out when we were together in LA. We obviously were making TikToks together. Mickey, they did put us in dressing rooms, but they put me, Mickey, and Amy in a dressing room. And it's we're the people who sent each other home. So that's crazy.
Oh my God.
Because I said, Mickey said, I know, come on. And not even putting a camera in there. What are we doing? I expected Andy and a camera when I walked in. But Mickey and I are good. For me, I'm over the things that happen in the house, and Mickey and I have such an easy chemistry. And it was sort of one of those things where I didn't fully know where we stood going to LA. And the second her and I are in the same room, it's nothing ever happened. She's one of those friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a friend you can fight with, or you're fighting text wise with, or something like that happens. And then you see each other in person and it's just whatever. And Mickey's just kind of one of those people for me. So I feel good with her. We had a great time in LA. I think I probably hung out with her more than I did anybody else while I was there. So really enjoy her as a person. And again, I feel good even though given what happened. I think if I had if she had all the information, she would have made a different decision. But that's neither here nor there.
And that's always the case, right? Because you have limited information.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing too. With I stood behind sending Amy home because she was an op to me at the time. But after talking to Amy in LA, I'm why did I send you home? Because I should have put up Vince.
Hindsight's 2020. I did want to ask about, you mentioned we're talking about reunion. You and Rachel are going to see each other soon, right? What can you tell us about that?
Yes. So I'm actually not sure what I can say about it.
Yeah, don't say too much, but
I'm going to say that this time next week, I will be with Rachel in person in a city that is not mine nor hers.
Okay.
And it's also not LA, just for the record. And Rachel and I will have content coming soon together, and we'll have a lot of fun, exciting things to share very soon. But Rachel and I will be together, and we'll probably hop on live at some point, but we will be filming content, and we will be going to an event together, and we will be kind of preparing for some exciting things to come.
Okay, I love to hear it. And I guess
watch this space.
Yes. Rachel's done Amazing Race a few times, but if you were going to go on the Amazing Race, who would you go with, do you think?
Rachel, because listen, I know Amazing Race is calling her, and let's make it happen, guys. They want her back. Let's go. Fans, make it happen. Jimmy and Rachel, Amazing Race. If you take Rachel out of the equation, if the question is who I would do Amazing Race with, I obviously would love to do it with my boyfriend because I really want him to do Big Brother because I think he would do a lot better than I did, but he does not want to do it. I might be this close to convincing him, but he is very similar to me. He has a very good social game, very smart. He's a aspiring doctor finishing vet school this year. So I'm finish vet school, do Big Brother, then start work. It's much easier than leaving work and then coming back. So I told him, I'm like, finish school, do Big Brother, do work, and then we can do Amazing Race together. But so he's definitely one person as well. I think honestly, Mickey and I would have a very interesting dynamic on Amazing Race because we do have a sort of frenemy element to our relationship that I think would come across in a very interesting way on the show. And the very last thing I will suggest is I actually think doing the Amazing Race with Keanu would be really fun.
Oh my God.
I
That would
think
be
Keanu,
wild.
I mean, like, because listen, like, I don't think again, everybody didn't get to see everything that was going on between Keanu and I in the house, but like, we were it was everything's very frenemy vibes. I think with Keanu and a lot of people, but like, I mean, Keanu's like, I don't know, we're sometimes like oil and vinegar in a way that I think could be really interesting. So those are the people I think would be really interesting on Amazing Race from like my life and from the season for sure.
Is there any other show that you'd be interested in doing?
Any and all.
Any and all.
I'm actually very well. First off, I'm very interested in going back on Big Brother because I feel like I left a lot of that out on the table. I don't feel like America or the show really got to flesh out my character and my personality because, like, just candidly, I did think they thought I'd have more time there to do that.
I think so too. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, so not me thinking like a producer vibe behind it, but when I watch my story on the show, I'm always pretty shocked at what was shown, and it doesn't feel like there was a full story arc shown. So first and foremost, I want to be back on Big Brother because I feel like I have more to show. If that's not in the cards, I'm very interested in playing more games. Like I love Survivor, I love Traitors. I would love to do either of those shows. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards, but if they call Jimmy Answers, and like I love the idea of House of Villains or again Amazing Race.
Oh,
like,
that would be fun.
House of Villains, yeah, fuck some shit up there, but yeah, I'm very excited about potential opportunities as they could be around the corner.
Okay, I'd love to hear that you want to do Big Brother again because like it's a undertaking, and I get why people don't necessarily want to do it, but I do think your story was like sort of cut short. I know I obviously didn't want you to go out. I thought you were amazing television and really fun to watch, but yeah, okay, that makes me happy that you said that.
No, it's like almost it's weird because I want to be more aggressively, especially like with my management, like want to be more aggressively pursuing some of the show opportunities, but in the back of my head I'm just like I want to leave a spot open for Big Brother again just in case. I've gotten some like feedback on like which year I should be really pushing that, and like that's kind of something I'll leave under the radar a little bit, but I just really do not feel like my gameplay was fully fleshed out. My story was fully fleshed out. So before I'm like, listen, if a show comes along, I'm ready to do it. But I really do feel like my story is not done on Big Brother before I move on. It's just where I am at this moment.
I think that's totally fair. Also, you're technically under contract for a bit, so
that part too. That part too. So if CBS calls, Jimmy will be there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're the only ones that are going. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Who else have I asked? Are Lauren and Zach a thing now? Because they're on TikTok lives, looking cuddly, and I actually think Lauren's like the sweetest girl. I met her, and I think. And I said this, I never thought Lauren was like petty. I always was like, there's more, Lauren could vote for Morgan at the end because I don't think Lauren's someone that like holds grudges. Again, this is me not knowing her, but she seems really sweet. But yeah, I was wondering if Zach made any end roads there, I guess.
I'll say, I mean, they're filming TikToks together.
Okay.
Lauren and Zach have always really connected very easily, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were just kind of seeing where things stand and trying to figure that out before they communicate that to the world, especially since like, Lauren's just now moving. She's just now moving to New York from Louisiana. Yeah. So she, I hope I'm not spilling her business because I think she mentioned that she was moving, but she like signed a lease before she went to the house. It started while she was in the house. So I think she's moving. Oh,
that's right. Soon. I think you're right. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
And so I think like, is she going to get in a relationship with somebody who lives in Atlanta? I think that's something she's trying to decide. Right. And so I think Lauren is one of the sweetest people ever. Super, super nice. I think Zach is like the definition of what like a great man looks like in like all aspects. So I think they'd be great together, and how they make beautiful kids. So I support it. But I think they're trying to figure that out for themselves and then determine what that looks like in terms of like a public announcement.
That makes sense. I'm one of those believers that I feel like the guy in a heterosexual relationship should almost maybe like the girl more. And I feel like Zach, it may work out.
I think you're right on that one. I think you're right. But I also think Lauren, like, I think there was because I would always talk to her about this, because like I was always the one who, like, as people were like prodding Lauren, like Rachel would be like, showmance, and I'd be like, Lauren, I know that's not why you're here, but do you like him? And I do think, like, in the house she was like preventing herself from liking him more than she probably did in a way. So I think,
makes sense.
Again, it's been a week, but I think she's probably fleshing it out and trying to figure out how she really feels about it. But I support it. I think they're both great people, and that'd be a really fun wedding. So I'm kind of hoping it happens.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else I saw at the finale that I didn't talk to Kelly. Rachel and Kelly, was that surprising that they like connected a bit in the jury house?
Yes, because I think I hold more of a grudge about what Kelly said to Rachel than what Rachel. But like that's how friends are.
Rachel doesn't hold grudges like we do as fans or friends.
At all. Yeah, didn't Reagan officiate her wedding? Like
Matt Hoffman did, but Reagan and her are very close. I mean, yeah. Rachel doesn't.
Yeah, no, not a grudge at all. I mean, I'm trying to be the same way. Like I feel the way I feel about these people. I mean, I think there's a TikTok of me literally ranking them all, so that's kind of hard to come back from in some ways. And I knew what I was doing when I did it, but guess what? Like, I just don't care. I've always said it a million times. Life's not that serious, and neither am I. Like,
right.
If I put you as 10, if I say I don't like you, like maybe I mean it, but give me a call. Like we can talk, or I'll call you, like whatever. So I don't know. I don't hold grudges really. In terms of Kelly, like Kelly's a really sweet person. I don't know how I feel about Kelly, if I'm being honest. I'm still like looking at that follow back button and not really sure what I'm gonna do. But especially since I did talk like a lot of shit, so that's always something I kind of like.
That's real though.
It's a tug of war, because like I simultaneously, like, I'm such a hypocrite. I simultaneously am like, you need to stand behind what you say and mean what you say, and like stand behind what you say what you mean what you say. I'm also a subscriber to the Miley Cyrus convention of I said what I said 5 minutes ago, and I believe it and stand behind it, but I'm a different person than I was 5 minutes ago. And that is how I feel, even with a lot of this cast. Like, I think there was a period of time I really did not like Morgan and wanted her to lose and wanted her to go out spectacularly. Then I think it evolved past a certain point where I was practically rooting for her or Ashley to win, and was very, very excited to see her on finale night, and still really like her and all this other stuff. So it's an evolution, and I think the whole cast will work through that in our own time. And I think at the end of the day, most of us will end up being friends. Am I going to talk to everyone from the cast every single day? No. Do I talk to Rachel every day? Yes.
It's like high school. Like, you're going to be closer with other people, and then other people are going to drift away. It just happens.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you gonna pop into any events over the year? Like, are you gonna maybe pop into Survivor events or some Big Brother events next year? Or I mean, you're in DC. You're not far.
Yeah, well, who knows if I'm staying in DC for very long. Actually, maybe moving. So
I was gonna ask you.
That's like up in the air. Okay. So we'll see. I've been like so back and forth about like moving to LA or moving to New York or moving to Chicago, and like I'm in such a weird place because like I love where I live in DC. I have a great apartment. I live in a beautiful neighborhood. I have a great thing going with, like, to contrary opinion, I do not have an HOA, Ashley. But I love my landlords, and like I'm like month to month on my lease, because like they're like the type of people who are like, here's this 2-page contract, and I just like never resign. I just like pay them rent. So I'm like, I like that I can maintain that transitionality around Sean's graduating about school in May, and he's going to get placed in either DC, Chicago, New York, or LA. So I'm like, I can just go wherever you go. But like the stopgap between now and then is a tricky thing. So we're seeing a lot of factors to consider, but I like to always throw balls in fate's court, because I always say like fate will guide you in the direction you need to go and put you in the place you need to be when you need to be there.
I agree. Like, if it's month to month, just, take it as it comes. Why not?
Yeah.
And same thing, like I was talking to people at the after party, and I was just like, listen, I don't hate on people. Also, if you can make a little bit of money on social media, do it. Like, I don't know why it's such like a negative thing for reality shows. Like, go on Cameo, make your money. Like, I'm sorry, but like, you went on TV, like basically put yourself out there. Like, you should, get something in return if you can. I don't know why people hate on that. Like, oh, they're clout chasing or trying to like extend their 15 minutes. I get that. I get maybe it's a little annoying for people, but at the same time, like, everyone would do the same thing. Every single person.
That part.
Right?
Yeah, I get those comments every day, and you just kind of brush them off. It's like, it's the same person in your live always saying you're a cloud chaser, you want your 15 minutes. It's like, yeah, I do, and you would too. But like, it's also what the alumni recommend. Like, use the moment while you have it, while you're the new cast. Also, I think something that people don't. I mean, I think people think the show pays us a lot more than the show does.
Probably.
So that's why they're all like, why are you making money on social media? It's because a lot of us have bills to pay.
Some people are losing money going on the show because they don't pay you much.
I think I lost money going on the show. I think a lot of people lose money going on the show because you're like losing business opportunities or contracts or things like that. And you don't go on the show to make money. It's like, I think this is something that Rachel talked about a lot. You don't go on the show to make money. Winning money is a consequence of playing a good game. It's not Brokey Brother. Like, I think somebody else said that. And I agree. Like that doesn't invalidate the struggles of somebody who are people who are trying to win money for valiant causes, whether that's Keanu and his dad's cancer treatment, or Adrian and his family, or Rachel and her whatever she was, shouldn't say that, but whatever she wanted to do with her money.
Yeah.
Like everyone has their own reasons. So that doesn't invalidate it, but more to say that like we're all taking a step back from life opportunities to play a game in a parking lot.
Literally.
And we do it because we do it, at least most of us. I'm not a recruit, so I don't really know. I can't speak on that, but I am a fan of the show. I have dreamt about being on the show my entire life. And the fact that I even made it, if I do nothing else ever, I will consider this a life achievement, because I remember 10 years ago, right after I came out forced out to my parents, sitting there on the couch watching Big Brother and like actually having something to talk about with my family outside of like what I was doing or who I was, because we had Big Brother on. And me sitting there strategizing about how I would get on the show one day. And I say everything would happen for a reason, because like my contract with the federal government was cut in March. I applied the next day to Big Brother, and I got on the show.
Wow.
I think I got a call 2 months later, very late in the casting process, 2 months later, and 6 weeks after my initial casting call, I was moving into the house. So you never know. That's and I don't even know why, because I always told myself like, when I turn 21, I'm going to apply, and I never did. I think it's just like life takes control, and you're trying to figure out like, college and a job and careers and that sort of a thing. And I think eventually I was just like put in a place where I was literally in this spot crashing out about losing my contract. And I think Big Brother 26 is I was just turning Big Brother on my TV just while I'm working or something. And it's always just like background noise in my house. And I think I think it was like, right. I think it was season 26. Angela's walking down the stairs doing her Matt clap. And I'm like literally like sobbing at my desk, like trying to figure out what's next for me. And I like see that happening, and I'm like, maybe I'll just apply to Big Brother. Like, why not? I've been wanting to do it. I've never done it. And then I made it on the show. So to say that people watching, shoot your shot. And that's also why I am a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. And fate will take you to where you need to be in the moment you need to be there. But you have to give it the opportunity to pull you in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, I love that for you. I'm gonna we'll wrap up in a bit. So if people have questions, then you can like start going through the questions. But I guess I want to ask you is that like, are you happy with your experience? It seems like there's something undone about your experience, right?
Yeah, that's how it feels. I feel like I am a complex character in a way, and I do feel like my experience is untied. I don't feel like I was able to show fully who I am on the show, just because, especially with so many people, I think the only moments that really make the show are you having a big personality, and I absolutely do. It's also my first time on reality TV. I think you saw this preseason. Way too much in the diary room. Like, and I think that
I was worried about you, because I was like, he's doing too much, but like then you kind of those preseason things are really like, you want to see the energy, but then you also get like, I was so worried about Adrian. I don't know if you saw his preseason interview. It's crazy. Anyway, sorry to cut you off, but
I did all the research. I looked up everybody because I wanted to see what I was sitting next to. But like, I think what's lost on the fans sometimes is like, you go from like your hotel room in a car by yourself, blindfolded, to a car, walk down a hallway, to the left, to the right, boom, you're in the diary room. Here's 5 minutes, get all this stuff out. And you're just losing your mind as a fan. You're losing your mind that you're sitting in the diary room right now. And you're also like looking around you to like get clues of like the backdrop for what the house is going to look like, or like, and you're just like crazy that you're looking at a corner.
That's so true.
Like, so for me, I just couldn't contain my excitement, though. In the diary room, they did let me know. They're like, hey, can we like have a conversation and you not yell at us? And I'm like, yeah. So in a way I do feel like, but that aside, I do feel like my story itself was just a little unfinished. And so I'm happy to continue telling that offline. But I do think there's a level of my humanity, wisdom, and personality that never really made it on the show, because I mean, the reason Ashley thought I was 35 is not because of the skincare routine. It was because I give a lot of really good advice and talk about life in a way that like gives me wisdom beyond my years. And that's why Rachel and I connected so much, because like I am the mental age of a late 30-year-old. So I wish that came across a lot more on the show, because I do think it's a little bit more endearing. And I always say I'm not a nice person, but I'm a kind person. And I don't know if a lot of my kind moments really ever made the show. So I do have an issue with that. But overall, my experience was great. Like, I wouldn't change it for the world. I thought that every aspect of the show for me was so much fun. Seeing Julie for the first time, winning one of the first competitions of the summer, being the first person to win 2 competitions this summer, competing against everybody was really cool to me. Having an HOH, there's some people who left the house without sleeping in that HOH bedroom. I slept in that HOH bedroom every single week. So because I would do these little HOH sleepovers. So yeah. I got my experience, and I really, like, every single moment I'd be taking a bath in the HOH room week 2, and I would just look around and just feel grateful for the experience. When I thought I could go home, I was sitting on the blue couch looking at the set design, just enjoying every single detail of being in that house. I would do my walks with Rachel and just literally admire every single aspect about being on that soundstage. Enjoy the backyard, enjoy the LA air, enjoy the little tree that comes over the edge of the set that we can see, the one little tree that we can see.
Yeah.
I enjoyed especially as a fan of the show, every single moment I was in that house. From the ants that would walk into the kitchen, I would enjoy literally every bit of it. So I have no regrets, because it was not lost on me that this could be your very last time in the house, right? And so
I love that. That makes me, as a fan, I feel that,
Yeah. And as a fan, it would piss me off when people wouldn't get that, right? Like they're like, oh, why do you care so much about this little thing? I'm like, you just don't get it. And that would make me want to send them home. Like
they're like underappreciating it. Yeah. Tim
100%.
wants to know. Yeah. What, I guess, whatever you're comfortable saying about what you were doing or what you are doing.
Yeah, for sure. I was effectively doing strategy consulting and project managing for data and AI implementation projects in the federal government. So essentially what that looked like more tactically was we were like identifying legacy systems that could be improved through better management of data, better intake and use of data, or potential implementation of AI where it makes sense, and how that can make the government run more efficiently and run better for the end user.
Oh,
so that's what I was doing in the government. It was very, very fun. See, this is another side of me I don't think ever showed out in the house. Like, I am an intellectual to my core. And so that's what I was doing in the federal government. My contract was cut for a variety of reasons. And so that did lead me to apply to Big Brother.
That makes sense. Okay. Wow. That's intense. Okay. Yeah. That's a different side of you, Jimmy. You're a big Drag Race fan?
I think everyone clocked out on the show. I am.
Yeah.
It's like half my brain at this point is Big Brother, and the other half is Drag Race. Is the way I like to describe it.
I need to get into Drag Race.
Sharon, you would love it. You would love it. It's so much fun. Text me for Rex. I'll give you some good seasons to start on. To answer that person's question, I'm gonna give them 2 quick answers. My favorite seasons are season 6 and season 9, and then All Stars 2 and All Stars 4. And then my favorite queen or queens is, Monet Exchange about the drag queen, Dawn, Ginger Minge. Like, these are some of just my icons of the show, who I love very, very, very much, and was excited to meet some of them when I was out after the show too.
Yeah. Before we get to that question, I did want to ask you about your wardrobe. Like, did you? Because I remember, obviously, when you got evicted, you were like all in black, and I just love when people play that stuff up. Rachel's very similar. Had you planned that going in the house, like what you were gonna sort of bring?
I did, and then they took it all, so I had to improvise.
They did.
Listen, I love production. I just don't understand the camera stuff and the lighting stuff. So I love fashion, and I love playing with like clothes. And I mean, I'll be honest. So my finale outfit, I think you saw it in person. The shiny,
it was great.
Suit, gorgeous. I've been so easy to work with, if I do say so myself. Like, pre-production, I don't know about during production, but definitely post-production and pre-production, I've been very easy to work with. And I pride myself on that. I would almost say I was difficult, but I was prepared to be difficult about wearing my finale outfit, because that was my number one choice. And I felt like every single time I wanted to wear the lights. I love shiny. I love mesh. I love different textures and patterns. And everything apparently I like is bad for cameras. I also love the color green. Like, you can't wear that on camera. So like, these are certain things I couldn't do or couldn't wear in the house. So I was either told not to bring them or they were taken away from me. So I do think that element of the show, like, I will never judge what somebody wears on Big Brother ever again after going through it. But I'm just so grateful that my outfit was approved, and we were testing it on stage. Like, when the pre-jury comes out to just rehearse the finale and stuff. We bring our outfits, we leave them out there. They're like, hey, Jimmy, can you, Sean Lonzo Neal was like, hey, Jimmy, can you stick back for a little bit? I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, what did I do? I was like, I keep saying they haven't called me. I hope I didn't do something wrong. Like, I've talked a lot of shit. So I'm like, oh my God, I hope I'm not in trouble. And she goes, can you just leave your outfit out here? We just want to test it. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Sure. That's it. That's all you need. Okay. And I ran off stage, but I left my outfit there. They're like, we're bringing somebody else in that has sparkles. And I'm like, oh, it's Rachel. It's Rachel.
It's
And
obviously
like,
Rachel.
I knew where the seating charts were, so I knew that like I'd be on this end and Rachel would be on this end. And I was like, okay, so you guys want to make sure like our shine's not like blocking each other's shine. Well, I'm like, you know what? You tell her to change, because I'm wearing this.
Of course, the two of you would be wearing the sparkles and stuff. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. It was her and I, the two sparkles, and she looked incredible. That dress was phenomenal. So I'm happy my sparkle buddy was on stage. We were both able to wear our our little sparkles on finale.
She looks so good. I saw her yesterday. I'm like, Rachel, Jesus, you look amazing. And I just got off of a workout and looked like crap. Thanks.
She always
cool.
looks phenomenal. She always looks
great.
phenomenal. Except that I need to talk to her about that wall in her house, that royal blue wall.
Yeah, but that was never there. Last time I interviewed her, I feel like that's new.
It needs to be repainted. I'll tell her that. It's like that ugly shirt she was wearing in the house. See, there are some things she just needs me for, and that's one of them. Girl, repaint that wall. The flowers looked gorgeous. That wall.
The flowers, yeah. I thought it was new, but yeah, ask her about it because I'm curious now.
Oh,
my producer's laughing.
I will do more than ask her about it, because that wall, I was like, oh girl, please tell me that is a background, and then it wasn't, and I was like, oh my goodness, I hope that's not new. It sounds like it is. Well, if it's new, you haven't loved it yet, so you know.
Oh my god.
I'm also infamously the person who, like, one night after work, I repainted my kitchen green, woke up the next morning and hated it, and painted it gray before I logged on the next morning.
Oh wow. Well, you're just a visual person. Some people have it. I am not one of those people. I wish I was.
I'm also not. I'm not a visual person. I'm like a just do it and see if it works. Like this wallpaper I put up myself, love it. You know, great, fabulous. Some things work, some things don't. But I'm always like a test and learn sort of a person.
Okay. This is a messy question, so only you don't have to go far into it. But people want to know about Kat and Riley. I will say I saw them at the after party. They seemed fine. They seemed, but yeah. Well, I guess what can you say or want to say?
Yes, and then I want to answer Chris's question because I have a lot of information on that. But
okay,
I will say, listen, Kat is a very lovely person, a very strong and confident woman, and she has made a decision that she wants to pursue a relationship with Riley and see where that goes. And you know, I respect her decision to do that. And Riley has some things he needs to deal with in his life, obviously, but Riley has been nothing but kind to me and sweet. And especially even at finale, after, you know, a lot of shit I've been talking, was very just like warm and nice and receptive. And so I wish them nothing but the best. Obviously they have things together they need to figure out and what their life looks like tactically. But I do nothing at this point but support my cast. I like to talk about them when they're on TV, when they're off TV in their personal life. I prefer to engage just a little bit less because they're not as much in the public eye. So I'm rooting for them. That's all I can say. And I do talk to Catherine very consistently, and again, wish the best for her.
Yep. Same for me. I know people are like, why are you friends with Riley? Listen, I hope people grow from Big Brother or being on TV. I don't think that's an easy experience. And yes, I do think he probably has some things to work out, but yeah, I think people need to chill on judging people. And you're not in those conversations right after the show. Right. So anyway, people. All right. Yeah. Chris wants to know about the veto meeting. Why was it so early when Mickey put you up? Do you get the sense production? There's no way. Is that true?
So not the latter part, but the first part I have interesting information on. So this, so for the people watching who don't know how like the run of show works. So, oh my God, Tommy's in the chat. Hey, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy.
So for those who don't know like how the run of show works. So Thursday is a super busy day. And this leads into the veto question. The Thursday through Sunday schedule is wild because we wake up on Thursday, have an hour until we're locked down in the HOH room. And then we have about 2 hours until we have to rehearse for live show after that. And then live show starts. After live show, we have about an hour, 2 hours for dinner. And then we go immediately into HOH. We stay up after the HOH comp for the HOH room. And then after HOH room, we go to bed. And it's usually between 1 to 5 a.m. at that point. Friday, we are up around 9:10.
Yeah, they wake you up early.
They do. Nominations are usually whenever the HOH is ready. I infamously had the earliest nomination ceremony of the summer because I looked at the camera and said, I knew who my noms are. I knew who they were yesterday. Let's go. And I had a 1 p.m. nomination ceremony. So between 1 and 6 is nominations. Veto's the next day. Saturday is always a super early day. It's 7:30 wake up. You're picking players at 9 a.m. Veto competitions in the afternoon because they have to prepare the comp. So they have to get us up early to get us ready. Veto comps played, day off. Then we pick the veto meeting that they're asking about happens Monday, usually mid to late afternoon, because the conversations need to happen. Obviously, production's producing. They're getting their narratives together, their stories together. I think when you watch the episodes, it's pretty clear that the story was painting Catherine to be the replacement nominee. So I think with production, obviously production's always listening. I think when production got an idea of the fact that Mickey was going to put me up, I think she looked at the room with her, Zach, and Morgan and said, okay, I think Jimmy's going to be my nominee. I think the second production realized I was going up, they needed the ceremony to happen sooner rather than later to figure out how they were going to edit the episode, because I think there were a few things they wanted. They wanted to see if Nikki was going to talk to me in that period of time. I think they wanted to see if I was going to have any fallout that they wanted to put in the episode, because they are on a very short, like, this is Monday.
Makes so much
The
sense.
episode,
Yep.
right? The episode's out Wednesday and Thursday. They had to figure out what bits they wanted, what show. So I think my nomination was so unexpected. I always say that. I don't think they expected me to be put up that early. And because of that, I had a really early renom ceremony so that if I did go up, they could figure out what they were doing story-wise. If I had to like dive into it, that's why I think it happened.
I think you're totally right, because that makes sense. Because that was a shock. That wasn't something that we all thought was going to happen. And you're right, they were editing it a different way. It's just unfortunate because we were like, oh, wish she had a little more time there.
Yeah, no, it shocked me too. I was literally downstairs eating a bagel in my workout clothes. So I'm like, I don't need to get dressed. This has nothing to do with me. Listen, we are very aware of the house if we're making the episode or not. And I had played the game very, very hard day 1 through 17, because I did feel like I had to for a variety of different reasons. From day 18 onwards, I wanted to float a little bit. That was part of my strategy, was to hang out in the background. So I didn't want to be in the episodes. I didn't want to be involved. And I thought Nikki was putting up Catherine. I thought it was about all of them and their story. I was in my workout clothes eating a bagel. They're like, hey, come up here. And I see an iron on the bed and some clothes. And I'm like, oh, okay. Mickey wants me to iron her outfit again, just like I did for Nom ceremony. Okay, I ironed it real quick, went back downstairs, eating my bagel. Morgan's like, no, Jimmy, come back up here. And that's when I went to the bathroom and had that whole conversation. And then you see me like try to change really quickly before and go back outside, because I kind of realized I might be going up in that moment. And in that moment, and this is the level of strategy that I also don't think came across in the show, I was trying to get production. I was trying to get Mickey to tell me she was putting me up. Because in the Big Brother house, if I look at you and say, Sharon, you are 100% going on the block, I am incapable game-wise of putting you on the block. Because you can't, there has to be a level of mystery, right? You can't, you can insinuate you're putting somebody on the block, but you can't tell them directly. So one of my last Hail Marys was to try to, because Mickey is not a super fan. I think we saw that from her 23, 24, 25, and 26. So Mickey's obviously not a super fan. So I was like, she has no idea that Brendan couldn't put Brittany up for the same reason, right? So I'm like, let me see if I can get her to say, Jimmy, I am putting you on the block 100%. So she didn't fall for it. So credit to her. But that was my last ditch Hail Mary to prevent from being put up, because I was really hoping she would look at me and say, Jimmy, I'm going to give you the decency of telling you this. I am putting you up. So I want you to prepare for that. And I want to give you a head start. That's what I wanted from her. Didn't get it, but that would have been.
I always love when people try to game the production system. I think it's so interesting.
Yeah, but see, this is the level of strategy and gameplay I don't think ever came across, because I was too busy throwing sunglasses and yelling at people. So
which we love that too.
But like, I watched the show back and I'm like, damn, you don't see any of my strategy. You don't see any of like this web that I was creating, and you don't see any of, and that's why I want to go back. But like, this is the level of strategy I was thinking through while on the show. And again, I just don't ever really think that came across.
That's fair. Okay. We'll take a few more questions. Jim, I think you kind of answered this from Tommy, but anything that you're proud of that viewers didn't get to see? Anything else?
Oh my God, anything that you're proud of that viewers didn't get to see? I had a lot of life conversations in the house with people where can call myself a relationship coach, but I've been in a relationship for 7 going on 8 years at this point, or anniversaries in a week. And I've learned a lot through, Sean and I lived together in college for 4 years. Now we're long distance. We're moving back to the same city. In all these different chapters of my relationship, I've learned so much. So I was talking to the house a lot about relationships and life. And I don't want to say coaching them, but like, just like talking about the way I view life from a metaphysical perspective. And I don't think a lot of that ever came across, probably because it's too just like emotionally complex for the show to like put in there. But like with Kelly, with Keanu, with Vince, with Rachel, with Lauren, with all of these people, about like what relationships mean, what people mean, and how communication and where we connect with people and spirituality and how that all fits into the world we live in and the life we want to create that's something I don't think the viewers ever really got to see, but I'm actually really proud of the way I comported myself in some of those conversations.
Okay, yeah. You gave Miley Cyrus a huge shout out.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Miley song and album? Any other artists you love?
So obviously I'm a big Miley fan. I used to say my favorite album of Miley was Plastic Hearts, because I do love rock and roll. I do love, especially when a pop star does rock and roll. So I did love that. But like Something Beautiful, her new album, it was my HOH album. I did get a vinyl and some flowers from Miley Cyrus after the show. So it's hard to not say that's my new favorite album of hers, because I love artists that create an album like cover to cover. And I, again, just really like that album. And it's definitely my favorite of hers going into the house. Golden Burning Sun, favorite song. And Other artists, I mean, like I love, like who doesn't love Beyonce and Lady Gaga, and I'm really into Zara Larsson right now too. So a lot of the pop girls I'm obsessed with, and kind of always enjoy what's going on with their various little album drops and what's going on. I think pop music. I think we're at a place where pop music is actually really fun again, and I feel like I've been really enjoying that.
There's so many good artists. So does Miley Cyrus watch Big Brother, Jimmy?
No, no.
Okay.
No. No, so that shout out came, like, it does come from a very genuine place, because like she is like my number one like artist and kind of always has been since I was a young kid. But I was trying really hard, and I always said to Rachel in the house, like, I didn't want to cry in the living room. I don't want to cry. Like, that's why when I got renommed, you see her pull me, like put her arm around me and pull me away from everybody when I start crying when I'm hugging everybody.
That's why I love Rachel.
Yeah, because I said I didn't want to cry on camera, and I knew that's where the cameras were. So she's like, "Let's sweep you outside," right? Because she knew I didn't want to do that. When I was giving my speech, I had, because of course I did. I had a whole prepared speech, but I obviously start crying when I talk about Sean and my family, and I did not want to cry when, especially, I knew like Sean was watching, I knew my family was watching. I did not want to cry in front of in front of millions of people. So the easiest way I could think of preventing from not crying was like, I don't want to say making a joke, but I was like, stream something beautiful everywhere fine music is sold. Like it felt like a way to kind of just bring myself back to like a little, like, again, I always say life's not that serious and neither am I. And I did not want to be crying on national television. So I'm like, if I can just pivot to something else here, it'll, give a little laugh. It'll shout out an album I really like. That was my HOH album. And I can sit down and not ruin my freaking makeup while I'm on stage with Julie in a few minutes. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, Jimmy, you have been so generous with your time. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it so much. I'm sure we'll talk again. If you ever want to talk reality TV, please let me know. And
anytime, Sharon.
I will look out for that reunion with Rachel. I'm very excited to see what happens there.
Yes, there should be some stuff coming in a week, and beyond that, Rachel and I do have a lot of very exciting announcements. We have a lot of interesting things cooking, so I'm really excited to share that with the world when it's ready.
Okay, we'll love to see it. All right, thank you
Thanks,
so much,
Sharon.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.